Obsidian CEO confirms no Fallout in the works, but he would love to make another Fallout title before he retires. Let's get into this bit of news. So the Obsidian CEO has said this. It is not a rumor. It's not some weird thing that's come out. He does have desire to make another Fallout title, and a lot of people are getting very hyped about this, even though it's not confirmed that that's happening at all. He basically said, no, we're not doing that, but I would like to. And here's why I think it shouldn't be Fallout New Vegas 2. But I do think that it should happen, as a Fallout fan myself. So let's get into it. So to understand Obsidian, I think you really need to know the history. And what better place to look than Wikipedia? Come on, we love Wikipedia. I always donate the $3 every year. So Obsidian Entertainment formed in 2003 when Black Isle Studios essentially all got the pink slips. Now, Black Isle was part of Interplay, which created the original Fallout games. And when everyone got canned, they said, hey, let's just go make our own company. And thus, Obsidian Entertainment was born. Now, not every single person from Obsidian went on to go to Black Isle, but you get the idea. Fergus Urquhart, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, who this article is about, Chris Avallone, and a bunch of other people went and they made Obsidian. Now, what's interesting is Obsidian, before it was Obsidian, Black Isle was working on another Fallout title at the time of the layoffs, and that title was Fallout 3. And now, I know you may be confused because Bethesda made Fallout 3. This was an entirely different Fallout 3, which, since Bethesda has acquired the IP to Fallout and made their own Fallout 3, we now lovingly call Project Van Buren. Now, Project Van Buren is basically entirely online, and you can go get it. You can go read about it. You can learn all about it. You can play it, I hear. And it does exist. It was real, and it was pretty far along. You can even see scenes from it if you were to look into it. What's cool is Obsidian did get to use some elements of the lore they had created for this game in Fallout New Vegas. And of course, we love that Obsidian got a crack at making another Fallout game. As the, original IP creators of Fallout, they did get to make Fallout New Vegas. And I think they did a wonderful job. But there's a thing about Fallout New Vegas. And Fallout New Vegas was under an 18-month time crunch. Now, if you go in and play it today, that might shock you. But if you are an OG player like this old fart over here, the game was buggy at launch. In 2010, New Vegas had a bad launch. I mean, it was popular. It now has a cult following. But it had issues. And a lot of those issues just kind of all go back into that time crunch. And another thing that Obsidian had to deal with is using IP from Bethesda. Due to the time crunch, they had to use, well, obviously IP, but they had to use the assets from Bethesda's Fallout 3. Now, if you're a modder like me and you've gone into the GEC and you've modded Fallout New Vegas in any way, shape, or form, you will notice a lot of Fallout 3 names attached to the items in Fallout New Vegas's game files. And why? They had to use it. There's no way to make that game in 18 months without using the assets of Fallout 3. And I think they used it and used it really well. Obviously, the launch was buggy, but they came around from that. They came around from it, and they did a good job. And the game is great. I think it's one of the best Fallout titles. Now, you either absolutely are madly in love with it, or you hate it for some reason. And I don't fully understand that, but that's just how this fandom is. Imagine Obsidian making a Fallout title without those constraints. Now, I will say, a lot of the people who worked on Fallout New Vegas are no longer at Obsidian. A lot of the original devs have gone on to retire, or to make their own studios, or to go solo, or whatever. They've kind of all scattered to the winds. But could the pull of another Fallout title bring them back in? I wonder. Maybe not. Maybe some irreconcilable differences have occurred, but there's hope in my heart for that. And I think the CEO of Obsidian saying this so publicly is a good thing. Now, let's fast forward to now. Obsidian and Bethesda, who owns the IP to Fallout, are under the same roof. And what is that roof? Microsoft. They're both under Microsoft's roof, and this is clearly something that has a potential now more than ever of happening because they are under that same roof. And is it something that Microsoft could compel to happen? I don't fully know, but a girl can dream. I think now is the right time for another Obsidian but Fallout title. I don't think that title should be New Vegas 2. And a lot of that goes back to New Vegas was made with all these constraints, right? A time constraint. A very, very, very quick turnaround time. 18 months? That's nothing. Think of how long we've been waiting for a new Elder Scrolls game, for God's sakes. I mean, barring all these remasters and whatever, that game came out when I graduated high school. My 10-year reunion has come and gone. 2011 was a long time ago. So when you really put it into the grand scheme of things, 18 months, a year and a half is like no time at all to make a video game. What would be different now is Obsidian could take that game and they could build it. Build it from the ground up. Now, obviously, it would probably be on the Creation Engine and they could use assets from Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, but without that time constraint, they could do something so much more than Fallout New Vegas ever could have dreamed of being. And I love New Vegas, but a lot got left on the cutting room floor. A lot of cool stuff that I wanted to see in the game got left because of the time constraints. Now imagine that same ingenuity that this company is known for, developing a game on their own, without these constraints, without having previously worked on another Fallout title and wanting to use some of that, and then also being under the constraints of a new company that owns the IP and needing to use their assets and work within their intellectual property and all that. What if they have their own game? They have their cake and eat it too. Let's be real. What if Obsidian doesn't have to work under that time constraint, one, and two, and honestly, most importantly for me, they don't have to work under the constraint that is New Vegas 2. What if they just said, have at it, Obsidian, go off. And they got to build a full new game, new plot, new ideas before this CEO retires. And I think it could be the best Fallout game of all times. Now, as I've said, of course, a lot of people are gone, all of that. But what if? Isn't that part of loving games? Is the dreaming, the imagination, the excitement? At least it is for me. And I can't help but think, would that be the best Fallout title of all time? Now, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think it should be Fallout New Vegas 2? Do you think Obsidian should never, ever, ever touch another Fallout title again? Now, I will say, before I end this video, I did ask my friend at Obsidian. I know the communications director, and without prying too much, I did ask, do you have any comment? And I got nothing. And I'm not trying to ruin that friendship. He's a nice guy. I don't want to ruin it. But this is out there. This has been put into the universe, and I really hope it happens. So let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to have a wonderful, wonderful day, and stay safe out there, Wastelanders.